Knees and toes.
The shoulders have to do with anything?
Because of what you did to my bold prediction. Yes, I'm taking this too far, but I don't care. We're
The
going.
noise is great for those who are audio only.
What's up, everyone, and welcome into the Buffalo Sports Collective. It's been a long time since I screwed that up. It is Monday, December 8th, 2025. As always, I am PK alongside my co-host Phil, episode 394. I've done that perfect for 394 episodes. Don't go back and fact check me. Today's episode, we got a big, massive, very fun to watch Bills game that they defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. We got one Sabres game. That was a turd fest. We got two games to go over in the NLL, and then a fun draft for the Buffalo Bandits. If you've been listening to our show for the last 4.5 years, we've done this draft before, but we're bringing it back. We're redoing it and seeing who can draft the best all-time Buffalo Bandits team. We'll go over a little bit more details as we get closer. But remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Don't forget to follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at buffalosportscollective.com. If you still want to read Phil's article from last week's victory over Georgia, it's still up on the website. It'll be there all year long. So come week 18, if you want to revisit it, it'll still be there. And look for the time breakdowns in the description of the show coming up this week. We obviously have this episode dropping on Monday. Wednesday, we have an interview with Mackie Jenner to go over the Halifax Thunderbirds versus the Buffalo Bandits this coming Saturday. Yours truly will be up in the press box covering it for the BSC. Thursday, we got PK's Power Rankings for Week 3 and NLL Pick'em. Remember to check out the Twitter/X to vote on the polls on Monday, and then the Instagram story on Tuesday. Those both end around 5:30, 6 o'clock on Wednesday, so make sure you get your votes in. Phil and the people's picks are still beating me. Everybody went perfect 2 for 2 this week in that. And then Friday, our preview show, Bandits versus Halifax. But we'll dive back into what's going on now. Phil, Bills versus Bengals. Bills 39, Bengals 34. Holy crap. All I can say is thank God they paid Christian Benford, and thank God Josh Allen fell to them at the 7th pick all those years ago, because if those two players were non-existent in this one, it would be an absolute disgusting fit. I mean, it brought me back to week 1 versus Baltimore. And I'm not absolving Buffalo of all the issues they have on defense, the pass catchers, all that kind of stuff that I ripped them last week. But this game was so fun to watch because Josh Allen put on his cape. And for some reason, Phil, Josh Allen puts on his cape the best, and it fits the best, and it flows in the wind the best when he's facing the best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he did this to Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, now Joe Burrow, and somehow this team has lost to David Mills and Michael Penix. That's how weird this season is. But I'm talking solo with this game. It changed on a dime when Josh Allen sprinted 40 yards for the touchdown, and then the next play, I think it was the next play, Christian Benford breaks through, trying to sack Joe Burrow, jumps up, intercepts the pass, runs down for a touchdown, and then the very next drive, I think it was tipped by maybe Daquan Jones and intercepted by AJ Epinesa. I mean, it turned on a dime like this. It was an unbelievable game, and it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the snow atmosphere really helped. Being in Buffalo really helped. I know PK is all about that dome stadium life, but I do think the backdrop of the snow,
the aesthetics were nice.
The aesthetics were fantastic, especially for a Josh Allen hero game. We talked about it a lot last week, and I'm not going to try to be too negative about this win, but this is like, if they do anything in the playoffs, it's this kind of game.
Yep.
Where I don't trust the defense all that much, and Josh Allen has to be superhero Josh Allen for them to have any sort of chance or hope. And then you're hoping your defense can get you a couple turnovers here and there to make the difference in a playoff game. And to me, that's the only way they're winning. Like, this is their formula for winning in the playoffs. Josh Allen just going off, being what he can be, and the defense getting a couple turnovers that are clutch to kind of tip the scales and tip the game in Buffalo's favor. I think like this is the exact way that they win. I don't think it's going to be pretty in any game. This game, as much fun as it was, doesn't give me any more hope for them in playoffs or the Super Bowl or anything, but Josh Allen being Josh Allen, honestly, we haven't seen it a lot this year. And like you said, we've seen it a few times against really big QBs. I think he's got to go out there and put his stamp that he is number one, and he knows it, and he loves the competition against other big-time quarterbacks to be like, I am better than you, and this is why. Watch me run. And this was one of those games. And I think if you can get that Josh Allen, you can win any game. You can be in any game. Like, this is the kind of game they're going to need. But we haven't even seen him be that sharp in a long time. So this was honestly just really refreshing to see that he still has it in him. It's still the same Josh. Not that I thought he was washed or anything or was going anywhere, but he's been a little bit down this year. So just to see him have this kind of big blow-up game was nice to see. Like, okay, he's still got that in his back pocket whenever he wants to pull it out. It'd be nice more often than not this year, but to see him be able to pull out that kind of game was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no turnovers for Josh Allen for the first time in who knows how long.
Right.
It came close a couple times. He did have 2 bad throws when he was throwing to his left, but you're going to have those. But 22 of 28, I mean, this was peak Josh Allen.
Right.
The moment was there, and it was in a 1 o'clock window, which I loved even more because they pushed it from the 4:25 to the 1 o'clock. Absolutely loved it. But the good, Buffalo went 3 for 4 on 4th down. Now, you could also look at it as a negative because they had to go to 4th down to pick up the first downs, or in one case the touchdown. But really, them going for it, especially that 4th down late, where they, instead of kicking that field goal, hats off to Sean McDermott, because we've given him a ton of crap all season, and I'm still calling for his firing because I still do not believe this is the right leadership group to get them over the hump. Different discussion, not for today. But went for 2 early after that. It was perfect. I didn't think he was going to go for 2 there. I thought he would take it earlier kickoff, and he goes for 2 and he picks it up. Flawless. Went for the 4th down that got Jackson Hawes. Spencer Hawes used to be an NBA player. It happens to multiple people, I know. But picks up that one, and then what happened? Cincinnati goes right down the field and scores. If he doesn't go for that 4th down and convert that and trust his offense to do that, it's a tie ball game. And yes, right, Josh Allen has the ball to go down there and probably try to kick a game-winning field goal, but in those conditions, who knows what's going to happen. So him having the guts and the cojones to do that decision, you have my respect for this game. Flawless. I mean, that was perfect. Josh Allen, hero mode. That throw to Khalil Shakir, unbelievable. Like, what? How did he even do that? He's going to his right. Khalil Shakir has somebody on his left. So Allen has to put the ball perfectly as he's fading to his right. It was just an insane throw. The run on 3rd and 15 was flawless. The back-to-back picks, like I mentioned, was the key moment of this game. And then Benford, I mean, he has not been great to start the season, but the last few weeks he's come on and he's putting his name, to me, in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, what he did to Jamar Chase in this one, and yes, I understand the elements and everything, but as the broadcast was saying, offensive players and wide receivers usually have the benefit in these kind of conditions because they know the route they're going. Defenders can't grip and change directions on a dime. What he was able to do to Jamar Chase and pretty much neutralize him, I thought it was flawless. I thought this was the best game that he's had, and you can even look back at last week when he won Defensive Player of the Week, but I thought this was his big boy game in this one. He showed why he got the contract, and he showed that he's still one of the top cornerbacks in the entire league, because behind him and next to him, I can't say the same thing about Tre'Davious White and Max Harrison because it was not a good day for them.
Yeah, no, he had a really, really great game, and you'll get into it in the bad in a moment as well. But you look at T. Higgins going for 92 yards, 6 of 11. Like, that's the kind of game Chase could have had, if not even better, had Benford not been on his game and had a really great game against him. So I think that went well. Dawson Knox, 6 of 7 for 92. He had a huge game. As great of a game as that is, it's so hard to think anything sticks with any of these wide receivers or players at all on the offense. Like, it's great to see these blips, and it's great to see that they have the ability to have games like this when they're called upon to be that guy in that game. But it's not going to happen. It could never happen the rest of the season that he has that good of a game. We could just see him fade back into nothingness by next week and continue. So it's weird, but he had a really, really good game, and he deserves that. I mean, Cook was steady on the ground in a wintry, snowy mess, but overall, yeah, I mean, just mainly Allen, but Knox had a good game, like you said, a few defensive players as well.
Yeah, and like you were mentioning, where you can't expect the pass catchers to keep doing that. Shavers was 4 for 90 and a touchdown versus Tampa Bay. His first target since that game, which was before Thanksgiving, it was the middle of November. Today was his first target and reception since then. Like that just shows you can't rely on anybody in this offense. But again, I'm trying to keep it as positive as I can for this one, but we will get into the negatives. The 3rd and 2 in the red zone, I don't know what that play call was. It was okay, Joe Brady needs his cute moment of the day that doesn't work, and that pretty much was it. I thought Cam Lewis was god-awful in this one. I mean, the decision to keep a 5'10" cornerback on the 6'11" pass-catching tight ends, question mark, so that goes back to Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich. Cook's fumbles, I mean, I think I saw that he's fumbled 4 times in the last 2 games. The one he got lucky on, I mean, that was like millimeters from fumbling into the end zone. Which that one, I can excuse that one because you're reaching for the end zone. Everybody does it. He just got knocked out of his hand. If you want to excuse that one, the same drive that he just got bailed out on that one, the second one almost killed them. When you're fumbling on your own, 2 or 3 yard line, it was a bad he didn't hold on to it well when Josh Allen handed him the ball. And I think that also, because if you watch it, the one angle that they showed right after the initial replay, where he gets the ball, he doesn't have it firmly. And then when he puts it away, you can tell it's not there firmly, and just one punch knocks it out. But Cook got lucky in this one. I mean, hopefully he snaps out of these fumbling issues, because if he's fumbling the ball and he's your next best option on offense behind Josh Allen, not a good recipe. 3rd downs, once again. If this is not a reason to criticize Sean McDermott in that defense, because he's calling the plays most of the time. 10 for 12, man. At one point, I believe there were 7 for 7. And it's not like it's 3rd and 1s. It's not like it's even 3rd and 3s. They're picking up 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 15s. It's ridiculous what this defense... They get to 3rd downs.
Game either.
Like, the defensive style they play, everybody can criticize, because there are wide receivers and tight ends and running backs wide open all the dang time. But if you make the tackles and you get them into 3rd in distance or 3rd and 1, you accomplish the goal. But you got to get off the field, and they can't do that with the style of defense they're playing. So something needs to change. I don't think it will, but whatever. And then the coverage on Higgins all day. I mean, they tried Tre'Davious White. He was holding him in the end zone, and Higgins still catches it on a 1 yard or one-handed catch. They tried Max Harrison. I mean, the opposite cornerbacks for the Buffalo Bills right now. And you could talk about the Darius Slay situation and the Jamarcus Ingram situation all you want with Brandon Beane, but it's going to be an issue. They're gonna if Buffalo does make playoffs, which just seems more and more likely after the Cincinnati game. If they do make playoffs, they're going to have to score 35 to 40 points to win, because this defense will not be able to keep, even with the lack of quarterbacking that is currently going on in the AFC towards the top of it. You're not going to be able to compete with us. You're going to have to put up 35 to 40 points, and Josh Allen's going to have to go hero mode, and you're going to hope to God this defense gets at least 1 turnover in the game, because if they don't, they can't stop anybody. The only other one is really the timeouts. How many times over the years have we seen Sean McDermott call a timeout on defense, and it doesn't work? Like, you call a timeout to see the formation, and it doesn't work. Go all the way back to 13 seconds. He called back-to-back timeouts. Nothing works. And then you call a timeout on an extra point. Like, what? What? At the worst, delay a game because it moves back 5 yards. Like, what are you doing? Like, in that close of a game, that was before the second interception. Like, he did that after the Christian Benford return for a touchdown. So maybe everybody was partying in the end zone too long. Who knows? But you take the delay a game. You don't burn your second timeout in that situation, especially when it's a 5-point game. Like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't understand what was happening there. It was stupidity. The timeout decisions by Sean McDermott over his entire career have been very dumb. But again, very good game. I know I got a little bit negative there, but with a 39-35 game, there's going to be a ton of negatives on, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Sorry, 34-point game. It's just, oh God, Phil, they're going to have to win like 52-48 in the playoffs every week. But it was a fun, entertaining game to watch. Especially when you have Josh Allen as fantasy quarterback, who leads me to the playoffs, baby. I'm in the playoffs.
It's sad, but we're almost getting to the point with at least the last few weeks we've seen of the Bills where we're back to where we are with the Sabres right now. It's like, I just want an entertaining game.
Yeah.
And make it look good, have some fun, like you said, against Pittsburgh. Like, it was a good win, but it was just running. It was boring. It was lame. Like, this was at least a fun victory. Like, I'd rather see a high-scoring, snow, Josh Allen being Josh Allen, fun kind of game than what they did against Pittsburgh. But
yeah, the only other thing I'll criticize, because you made me think of this, when there was 10 seconds left and the crowd was booing, and I think it was Greg Olson was like, oh, they got a little, how did he phrase it? I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but like almost like you're a little too greedy or all that kind of stuff to the fans that were booing. You clearly haven't watched the Buffalo Bills this season. Like that's the reason that they're booing is because of the up and down. Like 10 seconds.
Yeah, don't look at the record.
Yeah, don't look at the record. Look at the play and watch the games. Like that's the reason everybody's booing, because you wasted some time there. You could have tried to double dip a bit more. But we'll look around the league really quick as I can try to find my notes. There they are. Tennessee and Cleveland. Who cares? Cleveland lost on a 2-point. They pulled Shadur Sanders for some reason on the 2-point conversion. Don't know what's going on in Cleveland, but Stefanski, he's gone. Miami, they win over the Jets and their third-string quarterback, Brandon Cook, I believe. And at some point, he got hurt, too. I don't know exactly what happened after that, but Miami wins. They're one game under 500 now. Jags, 36-19 win over Indy. And Daniel Jones, who was already playing with a fractured leg, might have just tore his Achilles. Indy's done. They're cooked. Pittsburgh gets a big win over the Steelers, 27-22. And then right before we started recording, Denver gets their win, 24-17 over Las Vegas. Don't let the score fool you. It was 24-7 with like 2 minutes to go. Las Vegas kind of poured it on right at the end there to make it not close because the field goal that came as time expired. Houston and Kansas City are still yet to play. They're playing tonight, Sunday Night Football. And then Philly faces Las Vegas on Monday night. So if you're looking at this, at this moment of this recording, Buffalo was up to the 5th seed. They jumped Indy, who lost, and Chargers have yet to play. So if Chargers win, I believe, they move up one spot. So Buffalo is at least in the 6th spot. They're in the 5th spot right now. And they're 2 games behind New England. Not saying it's happening, but they have life, at least. They have life.
I would say, so to get bought back into the Bills, like if they put a whooping, which I don't think they will, but if they went into New England and had a solid all-around game and beat them, would that do anything, or you just kind of...
I need them to run the table the rest of the way for me to have any hope, and I need...
That's fair.
I need it to look good, and I need the defense to look competent. Not even good, just like that I can rely on them to get some stops. And they were getting stops in prior games, and the offense was letting them down. Now they're not getting any stops. They're relying solely on turnovers. So if they can look competent, I would feel a little bit better. But that will end this one. Bills face who next week? Cleveland? Jets? I don't even know.
New England?
Is it New England? Phil's looking it up now. I'll buy some time.
I am looking it up.
He's looking.
Hold, please.
Holding.
It is New England.
Okay, they got New England. That's the biggest game left on their schedule. If they beat New England, they're a game back. You still got to hope New England gets some help, and then you got to hope some tiebreakers work in your advantage. But next week's the biggest week for them, probably of the entire season. So,
New England has the Ravens, the Jets, and the Dolphins after that.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting finale. But we'll move on. Sabres lose 4-1 versus Winnipeg. Nobody showed up. It was a pathetic game, and they just sent Ostlund down to Rochester because why not? And they got Greenway playing on the top line. I hate this team again. I got nothing else to say about that game. Do you?
Yeah, no, we can move on.
Perfect. They face Monday. They got Calgary. Tuesday in Edmonton. And I believe they're on game 3 and 4. Those will be game 3 and 4 of their West Coast trip. So
there's that.
There you go. Yeah, before we move on to the second half and finales of this episode, we'll go over our sponsor of this episode, Tap That Tap Room at 363 Delaware Street in Tonawanda, New York. It's Buffalo's first women-owned self-pour bar featuring 30 consistently rotating taps. They offer a variety of beers, ciders, sours, seltzers, and malt beverages.
PK, they don't have a ton coming up, but they got their usual rotation of fantastic events. They got trivia on Wednesday. It's very strange for us now with 2 episodes a week, so really cuts down what we discussed. We used to have a full week of events to go over, and now we have a little bit less. But even if they don't have an event, we always talk about the events for them, but you can go obviously any day with it getting a little bit chillier out and a little bit snowy. Sometimes it's nice to go to a place where you can just kind of settle in for the evening, go there, try a bunch of different beverages, and have a really nice time. Because even if there's not a watch party going on, trivia going on, wreath making that they just had, DJ Nightlight on Friday, all these great events, but even on their casual, everyday kind of place, it's one of those places that you can almost make your go-to place when events aren't going on. Like, get together with your friends, go every Tuesday, play some board games, have fun, go there, try some new drinks. They rotate all the time, so even if you've been there every single week for a month, they always have something new rotating, whether it's seasonal, whether it's just new to them. So something is always going to be new. There's always something to try. And it's just a really, really casual, nice place to just go with friends, hang out, and have a good time.
Find out what else they got coming up. Check out their Facebook page and find out what's on tap, what's on deck. Check out tapthattaproom.com. Second half of the show. This one should also go quicker. I understand that a lot of people were angry in week 2 of the NLL season. There were only 2 games. I loved it. I got to watch both games, didn't have to catch up on any other games. Games weren't conflicting. And the Friday night one, I wasn't home for it, so I didn't look at anything, and I watched it Saturday morning. Holy cow. Warren Hill, King of the Hill, whatever you want to call him. Wow. Halifax wins 11-2. Yeah, I said that right. 11-2. It was 2-2 after the first quarter, Phil. And then Oshawa would not score the remaining 46-41 of the entire game. And that's not just saying they didn't put up enough shots, because they did. Warren Hill went 49 of 51, one of the highest save percentage, I think the highest save percentage in NL history. He tied a record for the least amount of goals in a game. It's just sickening. And he tied Matt Vince. When you're tying Matt Vince for any type of record, it means something. I mean, you're looking at this game, Oshawa scores the 2 goals. Simmons goes 0 for 15. Tchaikovsky has 11 loose balls, 1 block shot, and 2 caused turnovers. He's probably the star number 2 of this team. But, I mean, Dyson Williams, 0 for 8. Ethan Walker, 0 for 9. Tiger Clark, 0 for 4. I mean, Jameson had a pretty decent game, going 35 of 43. He was keeping him in it. And this was an 8-2 game at one point. 3 of the goals were empty netters. But Oshawa, 1 for 7 on the power play. They got more than goal lead. This is an offense that through 2 games, Phil, has scored 10 goals. That ain't gonna cut it. Like, something needs to fix with Oshawa. Yes, I know that they're already 2 games into the season, but man, this I didn't want to say like last year they got this figured out and I wanted to blame all the injuries on the back end. Maybe it's start to look at, okay, maybe the league does have this offense figured out. Again, only 2 games in, a lot more to go, but it does not look good in Oshawa. For Halifax, though, I mean, Mike Robinson had a quiet game, but he's 1 goal on 5 shots. Peterson, 1 goal, 5 assists, 7 shots. Dawson Theed, 2 goals on 8 shots. Stotts, coming back from an injury in the offseason and in the Mann Cup as well, but 2, 3, and 5 on 9 shots. Jameson coming in 2, 2, and 4. The biggest issue with Halifax, the only thing that went wrong in that game was Thomas Hogarth. It was a non-contact injury, couldn't put any weight on the leg. It does not look good for him. That means you're going to have to move Brendan Bomberry from the back end to the front end. And, you know, that just means I think their goal was to play him more of a transition role and to have him on the back burner if Randy Stotts wasn't ready. Now you need him up the front door. And it's going to be a bit shaky with Halifax. And I know I'm going a little bit more into Halifax here because obviously they're the next opponent on Buffalo Bandits, but I think this Thomas Hogarth injury, if it is long-term and it's non-contact, I don't know the severity of it yet. We never know these injuries in the NLL, but that's perfectly fine. But I know I'm speculating. If he's gone for as long as he probably could be with this type of injury, he was their second leading goal scorer and their third leading point getter on the team last year. It's going to hurt them big time.
Yeah, one of the things we talked in the offseason about Halifax was, can Hogarth repeat having a career year again? Can he do it 2 years in a row? Is that a outlier season last year, or is it going to be something he can continue because he's going to need to be relied on for Halifax? So with him out of the lineup, that's a really big loss. I saw the same things that you did with this team with Oshawa. I thought their offense, even in week one, I don't know, I just wasn't thrilled with their offense in week one. Toronto's a very tough defense, so
yeah,
I was trying to give them some credit, but in this game, they looked okay at times where they had big opportunities, and when they had opportunities, Hill looked even better. He was making big saves. They hit a lot of posts, but for the most part, they just didn't look good again, and I feel like they have the talent there. Something's just not clicking, or like you said, maybe the league just has them figured out. I mean, this is not taking anything away from Hill. He did an incredible game, and that's another problem. They ran into Hill and Rose now back-to-back games and two tough defenses. Halifax defense looked really good. Their transition for Halifax looked really good. Their offense, I thought, looked pretty good. And like you said, Jameson, I thought he had a few here or there that he probably would want back, but for the most part, he had a good game. He looked fine. This is a game that, again, I think Jameson's going to be, if Oshawa goes anywhere this year, right now through two games, and you don't want to say too much through two games, plenty of lacrosse to happen, but I think he's going to be the reason that they go anywhere, and so far he's been the reason they won the first game and were in it the second game, but he's going to take them where they can go, but the rest of the team needs to pick it up. Their defense needs to be a little bit better, and this offense that has that amount of talent, it looks really bad so far through two games. I think they can get it figured out. I think they'll be better, but through two games, their offense is a concern.
Yeah, they got Georgia coming up next week. So they got Brett Dobson. Nice start to the season, 3 straight weeks. We'll move on to Saturday. Calgary versus Saskatchewan. In Saskatchewan wins 16-13. It was 10-5 at half. Calgary actually tied it at 13 with 6:52 to go, and Saskatchewan would just pour it on at the end, scoring the final 3. Zach Mann's 3-2-5. Messenger, career high in points, 2, 3, and 5. He was taking all the draws, along with 9 loose balls, 2 block shots, 2 caused turnovers. Ryan Keenan comes on strong to start the year. I was on his case last year, 2, 5, and 7. Church, 4 goals. Shanks, 3, 4, and 7. Boudreau scored the first one of the season for him. Brock Haley goes 2 assists. Anderson gets the shot at the lineup over Clark Walter, and Chiliano. I did not think he had a very strong game, but 38 of 51, he does enough versus Calgary to get the win. Calgary, though, I am impressed with their offense. The defense and goaltending was a completely different story, but Manning looks good. Cook looks good. Maye looks really good, shooting up 11 shots. Dixon, 11 shots. Pace, 3, 4, and 7. I think he's going to probably be in the running if he gets the help around him and this continues. I think he's going to be in the running for 120, 130 point type of season, just so we can move on to Vancouver after that. But I thought their offense was fantastic. They were better on offense than I thought they would be, probably because Frank Chiliano wasn't playing the best I've seen him play in the past. But I think what's going to hurt Calgary is the inconsistency. We both had them above Philly for a reason. I know a bunch of other people had Calgary below Philly. I believe you as well, thought there were more pieces with Calgary that would be in more games.
Put it together.
Yeah, we do not think Calgary is going to be a playoff team. We have them in the 13th spot for a reason. They're probably going to win between 5 and 6 games this year. But they're going to be a tough out for a lot of teams if their offense can do 10 to 11 goals. Like, if they're around that average, they're going to be a pain in the butt for other teams because there is talent up there. I wasn't impressed with the defense, and Aiden Walsh was a bad start. Like, I get Saskatchewan was a finals team, but he didn't look good. He got pulled at one point, and Cam McLeod goes in. I am concerned with what I saw with Aiden Walsh through one game because of what I saw with Vancouver. And my biggest tell was, that's what I said all offseason. What do we get to see with Aiden Walsh behind a shakier defense? Do we still get to see the great Aiden Walsh, or was a lot of those numbers due to Vancouver's defense? I guess we'll see, but I liked what I saw from Calgary's offense. I liked a lot what I saw from Saskatchewan's offense, but both back ends and in net, I think, took a bit of a blow in week 1.
Yeah, I think sticking with Calgary, I mean, being down 5-10 at halftime and not just packing it in and moving on in the next game, especially a team that realistically, I'm sure in their minds they are. That's something you're not just going to give up on your season one game in, but it's hard to, see yourselves as a playoff team or a championship team. But one game in, you're trying to win every single game, obviously. But to have the mentality as a young team to not just give in when it's 10-5 and you're away first game of the season, but to be able to come all the way back, tie it up 13-13. Yes, they lost in the end, but I think that shows a lot for a young team to be able to keep their heads down, drive forward, and have that kind of a comeback at an away game. So I think that's really impressive. Like you said, Walsh is very concerning. One game in, so I don't want to take too much from him. I mean, who knows? Obviously, Vancouver's defense is much better than Calgary's defense, but at the same time, maybe it's just going to take Walsh some time to learn what's in front of him and what kind of shots he's going to see. Like it's a whole new team, not just defense. So it might take him a few weeks to settle in. So I'm going to try to give him, 4 or 5 games to see what his sample size really looks like. But game 1, week 1, not good for him. And then, like you said, Saskatchewan, their offense looked really good. Great to see, I guess, for them that their offense is once again ridiculously spread out with 5 points, 7 points, 4 points, 7 points. Like everybody's just getting involved again. And obviously it's a little bit easier when you put up 16 goals to have a lot of people with a lot of points, but very, very spread out. Like you said, Messenger might be the player of the game for that team with how well he played across the board. 9 loose balls, 2 block shots, 2 caused turnovers. And like you said, it is career high in points in a game. Really, really impressive by him. Chiliano, I think, is going to be fine. He was really, really good last year. He's had down games before. Matt Vince has had down games before. So, and it's again, with this same thing with Georgia and Buffalo, where you're seeing a lot of younger forwards, a lot of younger players that you don't really have the book on yet. So we might see some veteran goalies against these younger offensive teams struggle at times because they don't know these players' tendencies. They haven't seen their shots. They don't really know what they look like. They have some film on them, sure, but it's a little different when you see it in person. So these younger teams might have an advantage early in the season against some of these veteran goalies who like to study the players, study what these plays look like. But as the season goes on, there's more film, there's more tape, and they've seen them. You might see it a little bit flipped in the second half of the season. But Chiliano, I'm sure he'll pick it up a little bit moving forward.
All good points. Phil, I'm going to ask you to pull up the coin flip thing while you're doing that so I can explain the rest of the stuff so we're not just sitting in dead air. But Saskatchewan faces Ottawa next week. Calgary goes to Toronto. We'll move on to the final segment of this one. Again, if you listen to this from the start, if you've listened to our show for the last 4.5 years, we've done this draft before, but it was years and years and years ago. We're refreshing it and bringing it back and seeing if we can draft a better team or just see what changes have been made since their 3 straight championships. That might influence things a little bit more. But we're going to be drafting Buffalo Bandits all-time roster. Here's how it's going to work. We're drafting 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. Anybody that's played at least 1 game with Buffalo is eligible to be drafted. Phil, is the coin ready? And do you want me to call it in the air or you want to call it in the air?
You call it.
Okay, I will call heads.
Okay. It's flipping. It's flipping. It's flipping. It's tails.
Tails. Phil, would you like the first pick or the second 2?
I went back and forth with this all day today, but I preach it way, way, way too much on this show to give it up. I feel like in a Bandits all-time draft, there is no winning because everybody's really good, and we're definitely going to get yelled at for these teams. We 100%. Always do.
I am.
Every time we post them, we're missing 60 players on a 5-team roster, but that's all right. 6-team roster. I'm going to go first. Let you take the second 2. I don't love it, but I preach goaltending way too much on this show not to have, not even close, the all-time goalie of all-time goalies of all-time goalies. I'm taking Matt Vince. backstopping the team, and I'm done. I think I'm going to have Vince and no one else. You don't need anybody else on your team when you have Matt Vince on the team. Couldn't let it go. Couldn't let it go.
Yeah, I was fully expecting you to go a different route. I don't like it because I thought Matt Vince was going to fall in my lap regardless of what your decisions were. I think I didn't stupid me. I didn't look back on what the team looked like before. When we drafted it the first time. It would be interesting to see.
We'll have to remember. We'll have to compare after. I don't know what I did either.
Yeah, I don't remember if Matt Vince did make it. I can start scrolling back as we record to see if I can even find it because it's on the Instagram and Facebook somewhere. But yeah, I like you said from the get-go, we're gonna get yelled at. It's perfectly fine. I think you summed it up perfectly. That it's you can't go wrong drafting a Buffalo Bandits team, like an all-time team, because unless you're drafting I don't know, a player that's played in one game and then never came back, you're pretty much set, and it's probably going to be one of the most talented teams you've ever seen. But there's going to be people that yell, why didn't you draft this player over this player, or this player over this player? And I get that. I'm prepared for it.
It's all fair.
We've been doing this for close to 5 years. Anything that you say, I don't say... I mean, I say it to myself all the time, so you can't hurt me. So I'm ready for this. I am going to go with, though, and I think with you going Matt Vince, I feel like I have to go these two players. Otherwise, I would be committing a sin for all the Buffalo Bandits. With my first pick, as I'm continuing to scroll down because I am still only 1 year in, John Tavares is going to be my first overall pick, which I think is pretty fair. I mean, one of the best lacrosse players of all time. And my second pick is going to be Dane Smith, who might pass him in all of his records. Probably not goals, but yeah, that's going to be my second pick. So I'm starting my team with John Tavares and Dane Smith. I mean, I know you got Matt Vince. I get that. But I got two of possibly the greatest forwards of all time. I'll take it. I'm still scrolling back.
When I was building this team, those were my guaranteed top 3 picks. It was either I get Vince as the number 1 overall pick, or I get Dane Smith and John Tavares as my 2 and 3. Again, I preach goaltending way too much on this show, not to just go the all-time greatest goalie and start with him. But you can't go wrong with Dane Smith and John Tavares either. So I would say, so I guess we'll bring this up while you're scrolling, and I'll buy you a little bit of time. Would you say at this point that Vince, Tavares, and Smith, if you had to pick 3 legends of the Buffalo Bandits, the all-time 3, I mean, that's how you started it. That's how I would have started it. Those are, to me, the top 3 to ever put on a Bandits jersey. Would you agree that if there were 3 absolute legends of the game for the Bandits, it'd be those 3?
I think so. Yeah, I think that would be the correct decision.
All right. So you went 2 offense, which means your offense needs 1 more. We got no defense, but you got the best offense. This is the part I was actually struggling with. I do like the offensive options left, and I feel like I can get 3 solid ones out of it no matter what I do, but I'm going to go defense. Do I go that player? Do I go offense because I like him? Or defense because it could be the number 1 defender taken? What would you like me to do? You want me to go offense or defense?
Sorry, I think I found it.
All right.
So last time, Matt Vince was not chosen. Oh, he was. Okay. Last year's team. Sorry, I'll run through these really quick. I drafted Ryan Benesh, Micah Kersey, and Mark Stainhouse for my 3 forwards. I drafted Jim Veltman and Steve Priolo as my defender and Matt Vince in net. And you got John Tavares, Dane Smith, and Rich Kilgore as your forwards, even though Rich Kilgore was a transition player. Jay Thornbert and Pat McCready for your back end, and Anthony Cosmo as your goaltender. So that was the team last year.
So probably
this was drafted in May of 2022, so 3.5 years ago.
That was a long time. I mean, there's definitely going to be some changes to that. I got a few different players on my list than were listed there. really buying time to figure out if I go offense or defense to start it. But, oof. All right, I'm going to go offense, and I'm going to pick Mark Stainhouse because I like him so much.
That's
I feel
fair.
like there's a big gap after Stainhouse to the next peeps. So
I agree. I
will take Stainhouse before you get the most loaded offense in all of sports.
That's very fair. Sorry, I am catching up on my picks. So I don't screw anything up. You got Vincent Nutt. Okay, so I'm looking at Dane Smith and John Tavares right now. You do need another forward, and I feel like there's one more there before the teardrop falls off. Do I want to take that one? Because I don't need a goalie because you can't steal the goalie. So that can be my last pick. But if I take the forward here, then I'm set, and you can just load up on the back end. I think...
He's trying to play the game.
Sorry, I have all the numbers and everything in front of me, so I'm going through all that right now. Yeah, I'll do it because he's got close to, by the end of the year, he'll have 300 more points than any other player in a Buffalo Bandits uniform. He's moving up the list in everything. He's fourth in goals. He's fourth in points. He is, let me do this one. He is fourth in assists. I mean, people might think this is crazy because he doesn't have the super longevity, but I mean, he's fourth in goals, assists, and points. He would be the fourth forward taken. I'm going to round out my offense with Josh Byrne. I mean, you have to, right?
You have to. Yeah.
Yeah, so my first three picks are three of the four greatest forwards that have ever played with Buffalo Bandits. I'll take it. I like it.
I mean, luckily, you're not getting past Matt Vince, so I'm all right.
That's fine. I don't. Yeah, maybe not.
All right, so I can go defense now because that's where we're at. So I feel like there's a ton of pressure to pick the
top one here.
Yeah, like the top. Like, who's the number one defender in Buffalo Bandits history? There's a ton of good ones and a ton that I don't think either of you, you or I, are going to pick. But there is, oh man, see, he's not even, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go with him because it was how I grew up a Bandits fan. And he was a ton of fun. So I'm just going to go with Billy D. Smith as my number one. He is 6th all-time in Buffalo Bandits games played. So he's been around for a little bit. But he's got that old-school mentality, that nasty defender. He's got to get one big guy on your defense, and that's my big guy.
Yeah, he's going to be in the penalty box a lot.
Yeah, he's going to be in the box for sure. But, when your guy's knocked out, I'm good.
That's fair. Okay. There's a couple routes I can go here. And I feel like I have currently two. I don't want to get called out for like recency bias. I feel like that would be my trap here if I go a certain route, which I think probably is the right pick if I went that route. But I feel like if I go that route and then people look at my team, they're going to be like, oh, this is just recency bias. He's just loading up on all these guys because they won 3 straight. But I feel like that's the right pick. But if you feel like
that's a good reason.
Right. But I feel like if I don't go that route, I'm going to get more people that want to go with my side, which in the end is what I want. So I'm going to go with, and I'm just going to pour it on and hopefully I can beat Matt Vince at one point here. Pat Speedy McCready is joining the team for my first defensive pick.
Okay. All right, so I do love. Did I have I had McCready last time?
You did have McCready last time.
All right.
I'm pretty much drafting most of your team. You had John Tavares, Dane Smith, and Pat McCready, and I took all 3 of them. And then I had Mark Stainhouse and Matt Vince, and you took them. So
yeah, we're flipping teams.
I don't remember who won this voting either. So there's that.
All right, so offense, I'm good. Goalie, I'm good. I'm not good, but I got to pick them. But we, it's tough when there's only two people drafted.
You're right.
All right, so I got to go my last defender because that's the only
You
thing
don't
you're
have
missing.
to.
I'm going to.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
But I also was going to build my team similar to you, not with recency bias or old school bias, but I wanted one big defender, and then I wanted one transition player. And I don't know why we had him as an offensive player last time, but I'm going Rich Kilgore. He is transition. He's going to be on my back end, playing defense, but also putting up a ton of points, very similar to Pat McCready. Love Rich Kilgore. So he's going to be defense/transition.
I like the pick. That was probably going to be the direction I went in. But I'm going to go to the well. And I feel like if you look at all the numbers and the play on the field, I feel like, in my opinion, as the fourth drafted defenseman, I'm getting the best defenseman they've ever had in a uniform. And to me, he's still playing there. I mean, if I'm looking up the numbers, I'm sorting these by the largest to smallest. He's third on the team all time in loose balls. By the time he retires, he's at least going to be second. He could possibly be in second by this time next year. If I'm looking at points right now, and yes, points are one thing, but he's in 12th place in points as a defender. I'm looking at games played right now. And you probably already know who this is. He's third on the team all time in games played. And by year's end, he's going to be second. If you're looking at caused turnovers, he's leading the team leaps and miles over caused turnovers. I know that wasn't always tracked, but it's there. He leads the team in block shots. And yes, I might be called with recency bias, but to me, and I know a lot of these numbers stack up because these players are playing more and more games. And I'm probably going to get called out on the people that just look at the graphics and don't listen to this podcast. Don't care, wearing this bulletproof vest, you can't hurt me. I feel like the best defenseman this team has ever had is currently the captain of the Buffalo Bandits. I'm drafting Steve Priolo to round out my runners.
Yeah, it was him or Billy D for me. I wanted to mix it up and go Billy D because I like him so much from the old school days. But yeah, Priolo is really, really good.
That was my only pick that rolled over from last year's team. Yeah.
Yeah, Priolo twice. Priolo, I do like you. Don't worry, I do. If you do listen to this, next time, no matter what the draft is, I'll draft you.
Yeah, where's your podcast, man?
Also, where's your podcast? All right, so I am back to... This is now going to get kind of boring because we're on offense only. For me, PK's doing... I don't know what you have left.
I just have a goalie.
I would say just goalie. So, this one gets... I mean, it's not tricky. I feel like it's kind of obvious. They were already chosen last time, which is a bummer. I could go recency bias and pick some different people, but not really going to. I'm going to first go with a guy whose stats are still going up because he's back with the Buffalo Bandits. I'm going Ryan Benesh. I do like him quite a bit. And he's got a chance to move up the all-time Bandits list this year. He should move up the all-time Bandits list this year.
I like the pick. He was going to be... Actually, he was an honorable mention for me. He was not one of the ones that I was actually going to pick, even though I did pick him last time. I'm on to goalies, and to be honest, it's a choice between two. I mean, yes. I think there's three total goalies that if you're doing this draft, they're in contention. I think Matt Vince, since the last draft when we did this 3 years ago, now that they have 3 championships and been to 5 straight with him,
it's a little different now.
It's a little bit different now. Now I think it comes down to who's the number 2, and I guess I can just give both names. It's Anthony Cosmo or Steve Dietrich. And you're looking at it, there's 8 games apart. Cosmo played 8 more games than Dietrich. He played a little bit more than 200 minutes more than Dietrich. But Dietrich's got 9 more wins and 7 less losses. Cosmo's got more saves, but goals against, that's Dietrich's department. I think I'm going back and forth, but towards the tail end of Cosmo's career here in Buffalo, that's when they tailed off. He retired and then they drafted Josh Byrne. I feel like I got to go MVP wise, and I'll take Steve Dietrich to round out my team.
It's a great pick.
Thank
It's
you.
a great pick. We big fans of Dietrich and everything he does, and he might
I'm
be
getting
my
the
number.
chess master.
I might be his biggest fan after pulling off Mitch Desnew.
Yeah, Phil loves
Might
you.
be number
Phil
one.
loves you.
Crazy. Speaking of goalies, I was looking into this a little bit, and I'm sure my math is wrong on this, but Matt Vince, if my subtraction is right and everything kind of plays out, I think he came to the Bandits. I could be wrong. I think he came to the Bandits when he was 36 years old. That could
would
be wrong, but
probably check because he's 43 now.
It's around. Right. I think it was 36.
I think he signed in 2019.
Yes.
So
I think that math adds up. Ish.
yeah, sure. I'll go with that.
But when he came to the Bandits way back then, knowing his age, I never would have predicted that he's played more games as a Bandit than any goalie in
insane.
Bandits history.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's not
That's insane.
normal.
Like I knew he was on the team for a little bit, but that's insane. Okay. So my last forward, I could go a lot of different ways. It's so boring going the way that you went last time.
Sorry to cut you off. If you want to do a one more, by years and if he plays in the rest of the 17 games, he will move up into the top 12 all time, not just of goalies, of all time players. Because he's at 100 now. Ian McKay's at 101, Josh Burns at 108, but then you got a Kersey, McCready, Cooling, White, all that he'll pass. So he's
Just
unless McKay or Byrne do not play in all games. I'm gonna phrase it like that. Mad Vince can pass so many players. Like he's gonna be in the top 15. He's at 16th right now. That's how many games he's played. At 43.
He's real good. He's
pretty good. He's not bad.
So there's a couple. I don't know. There's a couple of forwards that are fun, and could be picked over him. But I feel like even since we did it last time, I think Byrne is now absolutely. He's crept way into the top players. So he's there. But I think a Kersey to me still holds and rounds out the top of the forwards. So not too much movement from our last draft, but a little movement.
I guess my next question is, who would be your honorable mentions? For me, I'm looking at a couple guys. We'll start with forward. I think Darius Kilgore was up there. Sean Williams was up there. I did have Ryan Benesh before you drafted him, but I think if you're looking at other guys, Chris Kluche might have moved in there. Chase Frazier might have moved in there. Troy Cordingley might be in there. Roger Weiss might be in there.
I loved Weiss when he was on the team. Like his ability to shoot, I'm pretty sure he was like an underhand or sidearm. He had a wicked shot. He was so much fun.
Yeah, and I'm just looking up all the totals here.
Bomberry was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you even look at like the Hokan Anakoks up in over 100. He's in top 11 in goals for right now. He's 2 away from passing Roger Weiss for the top 10. I mean, that'll be on the next show.
I think that's what we'll have to do our next draft is like we can't pick whoever was drafted this draft.
Yes. That would be interesting.
Pick them and then have a draft of not the obvious top players. You're like all the middle players throughout all the years. That'd be
We do have a bye coming up in a couple weeks, so I will make notice of
round 2. So this will be like the A team and the B team, or was it first team all time and second team all time?
Yeah, this is first team all pro. We'll draft the second team all pro next episode.
We'll have to do a second team. That'll be a little trickier.
Did you have any other forwards? I think Kyle Buchanan might be moving up into that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
Ian McKay's the other interesting one to watch now that he's playing offense. Like if he's young enough that if he keeps playing like he is, he's going to sneak up pretty high on this list, possibly by his career end if he keeps playing offense and being dominant up there. He could be a sneaky addition to the forwards.
Yeah, so for the defensemen, I mean, I think you got to toss out Nick Weiss at this point with the numbers he's incurring.
He was my other transition outside of Rich Kilgore.
Yeah, Jim Veltman was drafted last time. He was not drafted this time. Kyle Cooling, I think, should be in there. I mean, Chris White should be in there.
Chris White is amazing.
Yeah, he even got Kevin Brownell. I know he he's got more longevity than a lot of these other players, but I mean, he's up there and he's
Justin
top 10
Martin
in loose balls still with
should
this
be
team.
in there.
Who was that?
Now that Justin Martin.
Justin Martin was on my list
retired,
of
but
players I should have, or I could have drafted as well.
Yep.
I mean, he's up there. He's in the top 8 in caused turnovers. I mean, Mitch just knew, depending on what his
Justin
numbers
Martin.
look like at the year's end, he could be sliding up there. You got David Brock, who should be in there probably. Jay Thornburg
Soured
got
on
drafted
him.
last time, but was not drafted this time. Face-off champion of this team. But yeah, there was a few good names that we left excluded. So if you just look at the graphic and you don't listen to this episode, we gave everybody an honorable mention that probably should have been drafted. But
Kyle Laverty, loved him a lot back in the day.
and then I think the coin toss next draft will be the most important because
yes.
it's the one guy out there really. But we'll go over our teams really quick. I'll go over last 3.5 years ago's team. And then we'll go over who we just drafted. Last time we did this in May of 2022. Again, that was before the championship run. I drafted Stainhouse, Benesh, Accursi, Veltman, Priolo, and Vince. You drafted Smith, Tavares, Rich Kilgore, stupidly, McCready, Thornbert, and Cosmo. Phil, what does your team look like this time through?
I have the greatest player of all time, Vince. I have your offense from last time, dead on, Stainhouse, Benesh, and Accursi. And I got Billy D and Rich Kilgore where he should be on transition / defense.
I went Dane Smith, John Tavares, and Josh Byrne for my forwards. My defense / transition is Pat Speedy McCready, Steve Coast to Coast Priolo, and the Chugger, Steve Dietrich. Sorry, I was blanking on his first name for some reason. Sorry, I apologize. Steve Dietrich in net. We'll see who wants to win this one. We won't put up an official poll or anything, but I think everybody knows I already won. But yeah, wow. maybe we will put up a poll. Maybe I'll put it up on Instagram, the story, and maybe I'll throw it up on Twitter as well, even though that's got a bunch of polls going up. But we'll see who wins. I think this was a fun one, and I do like the idea of when we have another bye week in 2 weeks to do the second team All-Pro. This is the first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro will be more difficult. So I do like that suggestion because I was going to ask you, what the heck are we going to do?
Now we know.
We got at least one game filled out.
And the listeners know as well.
Yeah. But Phil, under an hour, anything else you would like to add to this episode before we shut it down and get ready for a leading up to another Buffalo Bandits Game 2 coming up this coming weekend?
If you haven't yet, go check out my first and so far only interview.
Thank you. I've completely blanked on that for some reason.
Yeah, that's all right. Had a fun time talking to Zach Belter. Thank you again for finding time in your ridiculously busy schedule to pop on the show. Really appreciate it. It was a good interview. It was a good time, and snuck in my first ever interview before we hit episode 400. So yeah, that feels good.
one interview every 400 episodes for Phil. But yes, thank you for reminding me on that one. Go listen to that one. That one dropped on Saturday. Still plenty of time, and Bandits don't play until Saturday, so plenty of time to go back and listen to that one. It was a great interview. I pre-screened it because Phil wanted to make sure that was his first edited episode as well. So I appreciate
Throw back to my
editing.
WGR internship.
There you go. But it was a great interview. Not just saying that because I'm biased. I'm saying that because it was a legit good interview. And very insightful. I learned a bunch from Belter as well. But yeah, go listen to that. We got Mackie Jenner's interview coming out on Wednesday to preview Bandits versus Halifax coming up. She's another returning guest. I'm just bringing everybody back from last year. And we got Power Rankings coming out on Thursday. We got the Twitter poll coming out on Monday. So if you're listening to this now, it's probably out on X. Go vote for the people's picks for NLL Pick'em for the BSC. And we'll be out on Tuesday for Instagram, and then come back Friday for our preview of Halifax versus Buffalo. But we'll round it out now, thanking everyone for listening to another episode of the Buffalo Sports Collective. Thank you to Tap That Tapper for sponsoring this episode and this podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Let us know who drafted the first all-team pro Buffalo Bandits. Visit our website at buffalosportscollective.com. Follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure you leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. Till next time, bye-bye.